Footy Vlogs, and in today's video we're going to be doing a combined 11 for the cup final, Bows v Pats.
Are we now?
Yeah.
So Pats start to finish, is it?
No.
11
Bows
Pats
start to
players.
finish. No, the whole Bows team.
Alright, just put that on you there. Yeah, this was actually a difficult one actually in many ways. You know, there's a few interesting choices I think as well, and we might have a bit of an argument over one or two of them as well. Look, people are going to have their different opinions and that as well, to be fair, and I have personally looked at it very logically, to be honest, as well. But yeah, I just thought we'd do it ahead of the FAI Cup final, obviously. Combined 11, Bohemians St Patricks Athletic. I suppose we'll start off with goalkeeper, Billy, and the two options obviously are James Talbot and Dean Linus. Dean Linus just got Player of the Year for Pats last night, by the way, as well. Look, he's been excellent really since he's come in to Pats, really, and I always think the mark of a good goalkeeper, apart from the saves he's made, and he's made some brilliant saves throughout his time here at Pats, I always think the mark of a good goalkeeper as well is how many errors has he made. And I could only think of genuinely one error, and it wasn't entirely his fault either. You're kind of pushing it. Remember the pass back against Redmond plays it heavy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Linus tried to clear it, but you know, that's pushing it on an error, like, you know what I mean? But there's been no errors apart from that, and he's been outstanding and been in the team of the year as well. And I think if he was in at the very start of the season, he would have been in the actual team of the year, to be honest. James Talbot, I don't know, do you want to talk about him? How's he done this season? He's been better, I think, the last few months, hasn't he?
He's actually been decent. He's always been a good shot stopper. It's just that I think that, like, from corners he can be a bit shaky, like Superman punches, misses the whole ball and stuff like that. But overall he has been a good keeper. Like, he does make some crucial saves for Bows.
You'd have to say, I think, based on this season, you'd have to say Dean Linus.
Yeah.
No disagreement here?
No disagreement at all.
Right, so Dean Linus is going in as the goalkeeper. Right back, we're going 4-3-3, aren't we, actually? Aren't we going 4-3-3? We are, yeah, we're going 4-3-3. Both teams generally play 4-3-3. Pats sometimes go 3 at the back, but in general 4-3-3 is their main systems of play, let's say. And we're going to right back, and look, it's difficult to put anyone in for Bows here at right back because it's been chopped and changed so much this season. Keith Buckley has played there, he's not right back. Horton was there early on in the season, obviously didn't play enough and has gone from the club now as well. And he's mainly a centre back. Who else have I had right back? Obviously Bart has come in, and Kukulovic, isn't it? Yeah, terrible some of the pronunciation. So he's been obviously not played enough, let's be honest either. He's been okay, but he hasn't played enough. Has to be Sam Curtis, isn't it? Really? He's the best, arguably the best young player in the league at the moment, I think you'd have to say. He's only 17, Republic of Ireland under 21 international, where he gets in the team at 17 as well. He's just so composed. I forget he's 17. He's so composed, and you know, he can play centre back as well. He's played a couple of games centre back. Do I personally prefer him at right back? I don't know. I think he's really good in both positions, but he's been mainly right back for Pats this season. So composed, very good defender. What else do you say about Sam Curtis?
Just good in every aspect. He's good at he's
big
good.
Future ahead of him, I think, to be honest.
He's good at getting forward, and he can defend as well.
Yeah, again, very rarely see any mistakes from Sam as well. So has to be Sam Curtis at right back as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, we're going to the left back now, and you know, our options here, let's be honest, are Anton Breslin, Jordan Flores, which sounds ridiculous, and Paddy Kirk, who has been, again, in and out of the Bows team. Started quite well, I think, at Bows early on in the season, like most of their players, when they won 7 of the first 8 games. Yeah. And he got a couple of goals, actually, with his right foot as well, didn't he? Yeah. Breslin is a real leader now in the Pats team as well. You can see it when they play. Joe Redmond's the captain, but Breslin's a real leader as well. And again, it's more a case of consistency here as well, because again, similar, Bows have had changes at left back, which means that Devine doesn't really trust who to play at right back or left back. He's not convinced by the players he's had throughout the season in those positions, I think. The fact that Jordan Flores has had to come in and play left back at times is
saying something.
Yeah, it does say something. He's really a midfielder, ultimately. made his name at Dundalk in this league when he came over, and that as a midfielder and as quite an attacking midfielder as well. So look, Breslin's been very consistent for Pats again this season. He's been in the team. He's been part of what's now a very strong defence, in my opinion. I think that's the big thing I'll say here as well, before we get on with it as well. I think the strongest part of Pats' team now is their back five, actually, including the goalkeeper. And I would say Bowles' weakest part is probably their back five, which is interesting. So, I don't know, it has to be Anto Breslin, doesn't it?
Yeah. Too much chopping and changing from Bowes' team. You can't really have an argument about it because they keep changing, so it has to be Anto Breslin.
He has to be in there, yeah.
He's been playing all season at left back.
And playing well, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, and he's consistent.
Centre backs, and again, like you're looking at, you know, for Pats, you've had Norman has come in there and he's done quite well in the last number of weeks. After a shaky start, I think, you know, you've Joe Redmond. Obviously, you've got the two Polish lads for Bowles, and I think Kasper Radkowski. I'm terrible with the names. Kasper, I always call him Kasper and Bart. You know, that kind of way. Novak is all right, though. I can say him. He had a good start, but he's faded badly, and Novak, you know,
it's all right.
I don't know. There's mistakes in them. He's not great in the ball. At the other end, though, he has scored a goal or two for Bowles, which was being a plus. But it's a difficult one. Like I was coming into him personally. I didn't want a whole back five of Pats. I think there's a strong argument to put the whole back five of Pats in. But the player that has to be in there, really, and I genuinely think he's been the best defender in the league this year. He's kicked it up a gear. Is Joe Redmond, to be honest, absolutely fantastic player. He's played Afolabi very well in the two games he's played him as well, hasn't he? To be fair, he has, though, hasn't he? He has. Very clever in how he deals with Afolabi, and kind of lets him have the ball in many ways, rather than, you know, engaging physically, and where Afolabi might win that battle possibly and then be able to spin away from the defender. Joe was happy just to let him win the ball and lay it off and then deal with him that way, you know, that kind of way. Because he knows Afolabi won't turn and run at you. He won't do that. He'll try and get in behind, but he won't turn and try and dribble at you. So Joe has very effectively dealt with Afolabi, and that will be a key battle actually in the cup final as well, I think. But that's for another day. But captain of St Patricks Athletic, lifelong fan. You know, his family are St Patricks Athletic fans. He's an outstanding defender, Joe Redmond, and I think Pats' back five, funnily enough, is as good as any back five in the league now. At the start of the season it wasn't, but now as they have, because Redmond was out and that, as it progressed, and you know, Linus came in and bits and pieces like that. But Pats have changed their other centre half quite a few times this season. You know, Jay McGrath's played, Tom Gravossi's been injured, but Jay McGrath's played and Norman's come in. But because Norman's only come in and played a few games in reality, because of that reason, I have to go with one of the Bowles centre-backs, though, to be honest, because they've been consistently in the team all season. So, which one's better, do you think?
Novak
or Kasper?
Novak.
Why?
I think, though, Rakowski makes too much errors. And Novak, he does less errors. A little bit less errors than Rakowski. It doesn't matter really about the goals that they score. It's they're defenders. Their job is to defend. Basically, so I'll go with Novak.
Yeah, but
and that's why I think Novak should be in the team.
I think as well, if you're not sure, if there's a closeness between defenders as well, and one of them has something extra, like maybe the ability to score from set pieces a lot more likely, that might give it as well. So Joe Redmond and Novak in the back line. So on to midfielders, Billy. 3 midfielders to choose from. Options here, I suppose, mainly are, I suppose the main options, though, to be fair, Adam McDonnell, James Clark,
Forrester.
James McManus, Keith Buckley, Chris Forrester, Jamie Lennon, Adam Murphy.
Flores?
I wouldn't say so, no. He's been too inconsistently in different positions, you know what I mean? Keane Levy, but Keane Levy's only played a couple of games, you know what I mean, really, in reality. He's been outstanding the last 2 games, though, in fairness for Pats. And he is a key man for the final, potentially. But we'd have to leave him out. So, interesting options here. What are you considering?
Forrester, Forster and Clark for me, and someone left out. We'll see.
Who are you saying is definitely getting in from Bowes in your mind?
Clark.
James Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. So there's one player in, James Clark in midfield, without a doubt. I think he's been outstanding. In my opinion, he should have been starting earlier on in the season. Not even in hindsight, I was calling it for a while. Like, I just thought,
He's good.
I think at the start of the season, Afolabi's quite isolated actually up front, to be honest, for Bowes. And they needed a link man, someone who could link up with him, and Clark has done that brilliantly. And in many ways, he's got the best out of Afolabi as well. Great ball carrier, always had that from his time at Drogheda. Consistency probably higher now, actually. That's probably the biggest thing with Clark. Can obviously score goals, can assist, play Afolabi in to feet or in behind. And yeah, he's a good ball carrier, isn't he? He's a very good ball carrier. He could get you up the pitch, and that could be very important in the Aviva Stadium. So 100% James Clark in. Definitely in the team, I think. Give me another Bowes argument. Who else potentially do you see getting in there? You've got Adam McDonnell, you've got James McManus, Keith Buckley, who's played a lot of games right back. Any of them, do you think?
See, the thing is though,
Who's been the better out of the three of them, do you think?
McManus.
You think so?
Yeah. I'd say the problem is though, they're all in and out.
They are a bit, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, that's a fair point. They are kind of in and out, aren't they? McMahon's a good young player, there's no doubt about that. He's a tidy player. McDonnell, I think, has had really good games, some really good games for Bowes this season, some very good goals as well. I think he's done well at times too. So, yeah, it's a difficult one though. It's a difficult one to in terms of consistency. I suppose they've all lacked that bit of consistency that I keep coming back to be fair. Then for Pats, I suppose, for me, like Chris Forrester scored 13 goals this season, 15 in all competitions. Of course, some will say penalties, but if you look at all the top scorers in the league, they take penalties. And that's not Forrester's main game as such to score goals, because at times he drops back deep in midfield. He plays so many different roles at times in midfield for Pats. At times you can see him even out wide, the way he drifts out wide as well. And, you know, we all know how good he is. He's bit of a maverick in many ways, but very skillful player. I think Keith Buckley actually said he's the most skillful player he's come up against before in the league as well. So, you remember the cup final in 2021.
That was in 2021 though. Times have changed.
Times have changed, or have they? We'll see about that. We're going off topic here now. But yeah, look, Chris Forrester has to be in the team there as well. I think if you were picking a combined 11, there's no doubt you're picking Forrester in this team. So Forrester is in. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair.
James Clark, fair enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Adam Murphy for Pats, good young players as well, but a bit like McManus, Bowes similarly, both in and out of the team. So I don't really consider them too much in that way. So it probably comes down to McDonnell and Jamie Lennon, to be honest. And to be honest, I would suggest Jamie Lennon strongly, because I think he's the best defensive midfielder out of both sides as well. He's been outstanding this year. Some Pats fans will tell you he's been our best player this year as well, to be honest with you. You know, he's one of them as well. I find with Jamie that often after vlogs and that, I name a man in the match, and Jamie Lennon doesn't get it very often in my eyes, but he's like a definite kind of 7 out of 10 every week. Do you know that kind of way? And sometimes an 8 or 9 out of 10. Other people might be individualistically better, let's say, but the job he does every week is vital. And again, he's one of those, I always say, when he's out of the team, you see what's missing when Jamie Lennon's out of the team with Pats as well. And he was out of the team for a point there as well, through injury as well. But yeah, look, he's just clever in his positioning, good defensive midfielder, very good tackler as well, and some of his passing is actually underrated as well. McDonnell or Lennon for you?
I'll probably go Lennon, because Adam McDonnell's obviously, again, he's in and out of the team. No Bowes midfielders are guaranteed to start apart from James Clark, so that's why I think Jamie Lennon, because there's a lot of midfielders in and out.
Yeah, again, it's interesting to talk about that when I'm going through it, because you can see there's more consistency in the Pat selections maybe than the Bowes selections. I think that's an interesting facet actually, and you know, it's hard to get like Jamie Lenn's very consistent because he's in the team every week, kind of a thing. Like, it's hard to get consistent if anyone's not in the team every week. So they're the three midfielders. We've gone for James Clark, Chris Forrester, and Jamie Lennon in the middle of the park. So on to the winger positions, Billy, and I suppose both teams have actually chopped and changed quite a bit. Kind of, when you're going through this, you realise that Bows have chopped and changed their side probably a lot more than Pats overall. Do you know what I mean? Unless there's been injuries and stuff like that.
Obviously.
But with Bows and Pats on the wings, I think they both chopped and changed throughout the season. Pats have had Mark Doyle, they've had Jake Mulroney, they've had James McClellan come in. They may not play the next game when they've played, you know, that kind of way. So they've had a lot of changes there. Even Connor Carty has played 1 or 2 games out there as well. I'm missing some. There's Alex Nolan as well. So he's not really started games, but he's an option there for Pats as well. Am I missing anyone actually for Pats out wide?
I feel like you were.
I have a weird feeling I am, but it's not coming to me right now. But Bo's the same. Ali Coote had a good start to the season, so he did. There's balls bouncing in there. Ali Coote had a good start to the season, playing more as a number 10. Then he kind of was out of the team, wasn't he? Yeah. And then he was, when he's in the team, he's been wide. He's had some good games as well. Declan McDade has been in and out. Twardock we haven't seen an awful lot of, but he's been in and out, and mostly out, obviously.
Grant and Connolly.
Obviously Grant has come in and not really got going yet, and you've got Dylan Connolly as well. So there's so many options there for Bows. But Billy, like, I think Bows almost have too many options on the wing. I've named them all there, and it's nearly like too many options. Twardock hasn't scored. Connolly hasn't scored in the league.
Surprisingly.
Connolly has scored in the cup, a big important goal, of course. But I always feel he's the bigger threat, to be honest with you, out wide of the Bows wingers. He can beat a man. I think he troubles full backs more. I think if you're coming up against him, you're more worried about him than, say, McDade, maybe even Coote. I know Coote, he doesn't play as a winger, but he pushes out wide, you know what I mean? And then he comes in a bit, so he's a bit different in that sense, I know. But I think Connolly's the one that would make you nervous the most, I think. For Pats, as I said, players have been in and out of the team. I think Mulroney had a decent start to the season, he's faded. Mark Doyle, though, has scored 7 goals in the league from that position. And I think he's got at least 1 or 2 in the cup as well. And he's scored more goals than Connor Carty, for example, who's Pat's main. Carty's been the main striker for Pats, so Mark Doyle's actually scored more goals than him, and I believe he's the second top scorer at the club. He does give you that goal threat, and you can see with his movement at times, it's underrated. His movement is excellent, and as I said, he gives you the goal threat. He can get into the box on that. Which 2 are you thinking?
On the right, Connolly. I
think this one, before you say anything again, I think this one, I mean, I could ask 5 people and they might pick a different 2, or, you know, not necessarily have the same 2. So you're going for Connolly on the right?
Definitely Connolly on the right, anyway.
Okay, why?
He just drives the defenders. He just simple as that. That's his job.
Yeah.
Makes the game effective. Even though he doesn't get goals,
and he can draw fouls.
He's a threat.
Yeah, I always feel that as well. Like, not everything he does is perfect, but he's a threat. But I think wingers in general, or wide players, have been inconsistent this season in the league pretty much anyway. I'd agree with you there. I think I'd go with Connolly there, to be honest with you there. So no argument there from me. Who would you go on the left-hand side then?
Mark Doyle, because of the goals.
I mean, just to talk about Pats as wide players for a second, I think McClellan has done well at times. He's a very good hard worker. Often I think he does better coming off the bench, to be honest. Mulroney, you can see the bit of quality he has, but I don't know. And he scored some great goals this season, but I don't know. I'd even in the Pats team, I'd rather pick Doyle and McClellan, for example, probably ahead of him, if I'm honest. And Levy could play out there as well, for example, without going too much away from it. But Mark Doyle, yeah, I think so. I think I'll go with Doyle as well, to be honest with you. I've mentioned why before in terms of his goal threat and that. And yeah, I think I'll go with Doyle. So we're saying Mark Doyle on the left wing.
And Connolly on the right.
On the right. Up front. Is there an argument here?
No, just no. It's Athel Happy any day of the week.
Why is there no argument?
Just all the goals he scores. And he's very strong as well. He holds up the ball very well. And when he's in on goal, he's composed. Yeah, yeah.
He's a spearhead of their attack, isn't he? He's very good at holding the ball up, and his strength as well, isn't it?
Yeah, he's very strong. Very physical.
Yeah. What do you think of Connor Carty, though, for Pats?
I think he's good at holding up the ball. It's just I doesn't
His
score
work
enough.
rate is very good as
Yeah,
well.
his work rate is very good. He just doesn't score enough goals for me.
No, he doesn't.
Afalabi, like compared to Afalabi, he's good at 13 goals.
I think Carty generally does everything well, but I think he lacks composure at times in finishing, to be honest with you. I mean, there was a chance against Sligo the other night, just an example. He was 1-on-1 and you're thinking, compose yourself, set yourself and try and find the corner. But it always seems to be hitting hope for some reason with Connor, unfortunately. He's still young and he can learn. But at this minute in time, I think you have to go with Afalabi, don't you, ahead of him?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
So how many balls players have we in then? Is it 4?
Novak, Clark, Afalabi, Connolly.
4 and 7 Pats players, you know. And I think, to be honest, going through it, the main reason for that is I do think Pats are probably a better side all round, if I'm honest with you. I do. But when you go through it, you realise that there's a lot of inconsistencies in the team selection for Bohemians. And I think that has led to having come to the conclusion with 7 Pats players in it and 4 Bowls players in it. To be honest, Pats' selections are more consistent in their team. They've a foundation there, whereas Bowls there's a lot of chopping and changing, players playing different positions and that kind of thing. Whereas Pats, unless there's players injured, you know what I mean? Forrester's has been a mainstay all season. Lennon has been a mainstay. Redmond, Curtis, Linus, Breslin.
Mostly Carty.
Yeah, but I'm talking about mainly, exactly. I'm talking about mainly the ones we picked in this team, you know what I mean? But and that's probably the main reason why there's more Pats players in the 11. But so that's it. That's our St Patricks Athletic Bohemians combined 11. Let us know what you think in the comments. No doubt people are going to have their own opinions, and that's fair enough, etc. There's a couple that you could definitely change as well there, I think. Let us know again what you think in the comments. What should the people do, Billy?
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to push your bell notification button for more videos.
See you later, guys.